the end of the day, it's time for people in South Carolina to revisit that decision. Would be fine with me, but this is part of who we are. The flag represents to some people a civil war, and that was the symbol of one side. To others, it's a racist symbol, and it's been used by people. It's been used in a racist way. But the problems we have in South Carolina and throughout the world are not because of a movie or a symbol, it's because of what's in people's heart.
The killings of 9 people in South Carolina have ripped America wide open on so many issues. Politicians who are backing up as fast as they can in order to save their future with voters. Leaders who can't wait to take advantage of racism, madness, and murder to direct attention at them. And either by design or accident, the rise of a governor who could have just set the table for bigger things to come. The Tuesday News Call gets to work. Let's welcome back the co-host of the Daily Wrap here on Newsmax, 7 p.m. Eastern Time every weeknight, and political contributor at Forbes, Rick Ungar, joined by host of the McGraw Show at the Big 550 KTRS in St. Louis weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. Central Time, McGraw Milhaven. Gentlemen, always a pleasure to have you both on the show. McGraw, I'm going to go ahead and start with you on this one. Lindsey Graham was the one who said no big deal on the flag. Then on Monday, he called for the removal of the Confederate flag from the state grounds. A lot of people, I think, McGraw, are asking with regard to Lindsey Graham and other politicians, are they taking this action because it's really in their heart, they know it's the right thing to do, or just to score points with voters?
You would love to think that it was the right thing to do, but I think the changing times, the changing landscape is the reason why. You go back to what Senator John McCain said. He was against the Confederate flag and wanted it removed. All of a sudden, he was running for president. It was a tough South Carolina primary. He changed his mind. He called it a state's issue and left it alone. After he lost, he went back and he said, you know what? One of the saddest things he ever did was not talk about his conviction, and said that he changed his mind. That was his mistake. That's what he said. So now all of these people, it's a good thing Republicans are now rushing to the side, because it's really two stories. It's South Carolina, but it's also a national story. And no longer will Republicans have to defend a disgraceful flag on the grounds of South Carolina.
All right, Rick, so then how are we supposed to tell the difference then between the two?
Well, it's, McGraw made some great points there. Look, if you believe that being president is all about character, I take a close look at the candidates and see what they did here. You mentioned Lindsey Graham correctly. Take a look at Scott Walker, who actually voted for a resolution when he was in the assembly to tell South Carolina, to tell Georgia, to tell Mississippi to take down the Confederate flags. Then when he was asked last week, suddenly he too is of the school of, hey, it's a state's issue. And then as soon as Nikki Haley makes her move yesterday, he's all over it. Man, what a great thing to do. There are no shortage of Republican candidates who have behaved this way. It's shameful. I want to give credit to Jeb Bush, however, who on the very first day of this discussion came out the right way. Watch what these people say if you want to know if you're going to vote for a person of character.
You gave credit to Jeb Bush. The 4 horsemen of the apocalypse are coming over the ridge as we speak. My goodness. Hey, listen, Rick, you mentioned Nikki Haley in this one. She came out and made what many people believe to be was exactly the right speech at the right time. And here I am already hearing people saying she may not have meant to do it, but there are people who may look at her as vice president. Look, she's under term limits right now. She can't run for governor again. Do you think maybe that she's inadvertently maybe setting herself up for bigger things?
No more than she would have already been in that discussion as a Republican woman in a state that can go either way. So I think she had some place, before this all happened. Will this help her? It won't hurt her. I don't think it's going to be a major deal. If you're looking for a female candidate for the Republican Party, I would look to New Mexico and I would look to California.
All right, I tell you what, McGraw, let's come to you. I only got about 1:10 left here, and I'm going to give you this one. C.J. Pearson, this young man is 12 years of age. He is an internet sensation for the way he says things. He's been on our show before. This kid knows more about politics than some people who are 50 or 60 years of age. Here's what he said about the president, and he's complaining as an African-American that the president was politicizing the Charleston deaths. Here's what he said.
We don't go out and take away everyone's cars after a stupid person gets a DUI. Because it's that stupid person's actions aren't representative of everyone who drives a car. So why is some lunatic who clearly lacks a stable mental state representative of every gun-toting American here in this country?
12 years old, my goodness. 30 seconds to you, McGraw. How'd he do?
Well, he did fantastic, and I'm glad he can't yet host my show yet. He's still too young, but it's nice to see that there is talent on the farm and that they're going to be up in the majors real soon.
What do you think of this, Rick? What he said?
I think he's a well-spoken kid, but he was completely wrong. Look, I mean, we all know the president wasn't going to get anywhere with guns in his speech, but let's remember, the politicization of what took place last week is what leads us to where we're sitting here today, where Confederate flags are being taken down in South Carolina and where major retailers are no longer selling them anymore. Some good came out of the politicization.
All right, gentlemen, hang tight. Breaking back, we're going to turn to the Free Speech University that now wants to quash any mention of a melting pot, the governmental agency that has just about lived out its usefulness. And here comes the story of the day that Rick Ungar has been waiting for, how Disney plans to dump on the competition. It's all coming up next, where we question everything on MidPoint. All right, now to the truly critical issues of the day. Welcome back, co-host of the Daily Wrap here on Newsmax at 7 p.m. Eastern Time every weeknight, and political contributor at Forbes, Rick Ungar, and host of the McGraw Show at the Big 550 KTRS in St. Louis weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. local time, McGraw Milhaven. All right, Rick, to you first. The University of California. This is getting out of control. Okay, here's a college that once fought for free speech. Now they want to no longer allow on-campus statements such as, "Why are you so quiet? I believe the most qualified person should get the job," and "America is a melting pot," saying that these are racist and sexist. Come on, Rick, this is over the edge here.
I have two problems with this. One,
only two?
Yeah, only two.
Wow.
Maybe I'm dramatically out of touch, but I don't know what's wrong with those phrases. I don't get what's racist about them. But more to the point, if the professors and instructors in the UC system have become so incapable that they can't decide for themselves how to speak, maybe the University of California system needs some new profs, because this is insane.
They're saying there is only one race, the human race. That phrase in itself is offensive because it denies the significance of a person of color's racial, ethnic experience and history. Come on, McGraw, haven't we? I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, we're getting to the point right now where what are we going to be able to say on a college campus? Oh, but it is UCal Berkeley. Let's remember that.
Look, I'm still trying to figure out
it's also the rest of the UCals.
I'm still trying to figure out why Rachel Dolezal was so offensive, because she chose to live as a black woman. I'm still trying to figure out why that was wrong. She self-identified as a black woman, and everybody was up in arms over the color of her skin. I thought that was racist.
But don't we need to fight against these things and call these people out? Basically, why would you want to send your kid to a school like that, McGraw? Would you?
I don't know, but the poor kids are already at that school. It just sort of, I guess. Not that I'm defending it, but the place you have to go and sort of meet these things head on. And you're right. If you don't sort of call it out and chastise it and laugh at it, these things go on unchecked.
Absolutely ridiculous. The UC president, Janet Napolitano. Come on, Janet, get a life, will you please? Grow up and let's be real here. Okay, I've thrown out all my cliches. Rick, the Senate has confirmed a new TSA administrator here, but the TSA, they can't protect us. We know that they're able to sneak things through security checkpoints whenever they want to. I mean, have we outgrown the TSA and need to just throw this thing out and start fresh?
Well, I'm not sure you can say we've outgrown it. What you can do is you can do a little research and see if those airports that are operating private systems, like San Francisco, if they're getting better results than the government system. Not sure what the case is, but either way, I think we probably still need to have something. We just need something that works much better and far more efficiently.
All right. What do you think, McGraw? I mean, the TSA, we want them to protect us, but quite frankly, they've shown recently that they can't protect us because they can't stop things from getting through. Why should we trust them?
I'm still trying to figure out why I have to take off my shoes. If the magnetometer that I walk through won't detect my shoes, why doesn't the whole human being go through that bag connection? And why do I have to take out my laptop? Are you going to tell me that it can't detect through a thin burlap bag? I'm still confused over half the things we do with
you don't have to take that. You don't have to take those off and out anymore. If you get pre-approved, you no longer have to take off your shoes or take out your laptop. But I thought McGraw was going to say that he's still confused about Rachel Dolezal.
I am so confused about it.
Wait, we're going to move on from that because I've only got about a minute left, and we have this story. I know Rick Ungar is thrilled about this story. At Disney World, at Animal Kingdom, their latest food, they are selling poop to the guests. They have giraffe poop, which is a stack of 5 chocolate brown pellets, each about the size of a grape, elephant poo, tamarind poo, and hippo poo. Rick, you think this is brilliant?
As you know, Ed, I have a little bit of experience in the children's entertainment world, and yeah, it's going to be huge. I do know what kids get a kick out of, and they're going to find this insanely funny, and it's going to be, Disney, for all the bad things I could say about Disney, they rarely make a misstep when it comes to entertaining kids. This will work huge.
Well, they've certainly made a misstep recently when they've fired and then brought a lot of workers back under rather interesting circumstances.
I said when it came to entertaining kids.
Exactly. McGraw, what do you think? If you had kids, I don't know. Do you have kids, by the way, McGraw?
I do not have kids, but I want to know, does that speed pass get you to the front of the line to buy those things, or is the line out the door and you have to wait patiently?
Well, I think you have to wait patiently here, but which would you prefer, the elephant poo with oats and peanut butter, the tamarind poo with pretzels and chocolate peanut butter fudge, or the hippo poo, which is chocolate fudge, caramel brownie, peanut butter, and oats? What do you think?
I will take my proud sponsor, Ted Drew's frozen custard here in St. Louis over any of that.
Oh, you're so
what a smart radio guy.
What a radio guy.
Smart radio guy.
By the way, I just want to point out that each order costs $3.99, but there's enough poo for 2. There you go. We've settled everything right now. You can take care of the kids. Rick Ungar, McGraw Milhaven, thanks so much for joining us. And please don't dump on this when you talk about it later. There you go. All right. Excellent news for those concerned about heart attacks. Nick Tate has a house call, other side of the break, right here.